Welcome back. I hope all of you are well. This video isn't going to be an update. As I had mentioned in some previous videos, I have really enjoyed doing the oracle card readings, and via some communication that I had earlier today, this video is going to be 3 readings that I'm going to do, so we will see how that goes. I may include some updates here or there in between the readings, or perhaps a moment or two before, we'll see. I'm going to check my notes here. So yeah, as I said, I had mentioned in some previous videos, there's a new channel that I started following on YouTube called Moonlight Ponderings. And it's a podcast where some fellow pagans, or witches, or whatever term you'd rather use there, they do a podcast where they talk about, tarot cards and readings and magic and a lot of different things. And so I had contacted them via email a while back, and over time made some connections. And so in speaking to one of them today, speaking to Severin on Facebook, I mentioned that I wanted to do further readings. I wanted to get some more practice. What you're hearing is my cat, Emily. She may or may not make an appearance in this video, but she seems very vocal right now for some reason. So yeah, I was speaking to Severin earlier on Facebook, and I had mentioned that I wanted to do some more practice. I wanted to get more practice with the cards, and so I told her that if she was interested in a free reading, that I would certainly be willing to do one. And so she had sent me a message back saying that she was, and I found out that the other members of Moonlight Ponderings, Ronnie and Firechild, also were interested in a reading. So this video is going to contain 3 readings. That'll be new for me. Normally I only do 2 or 1, but so we'll see how that goes. As for a general update, I think interesting might be the best word. Hello there. I have mentioned how much of a role, do you want up here? How much of a role synchronicity has played in my life over the past few weeks, even months. And that continues. Even, I mentioned that I have been reading some books from the Dragonlance series, and there's even been synchronicities in what I've read, things that have come up. It just seems like messages are coming out of the woodwork. So very interesting, and I would say positive. All in all, there's been a lot going on, a lot of work that has had to be done around here. So yeah, just a lot, but not bad. Do you want up here? Normally she's not as attentive when I'm making these videos, so her being so vocal and active in the room is a little unusual. Yeah, I need to take a moment here to get ready for this first reading. Let me ground myself. Okay. I have not done any readings since the last video that I posted, so it's been a couple of days. Let me connect my energies with the cards and connect this reading to Severin Nocturne. Wow, I'm feeling a lot of energy from the cards, much more so than I ever have in any of the previous readings, so that was kind of intense. One thing I will mention to begin with, for Severin's reading, this is going to be for the next 7 days. Originally I had intended to do a monthly reading for you, but during the preparation earlier today, when I was preparing to do this reading, I kept getting this very strong intuitive message that your reading was going to be for 7 days, and it's going to be different than the other two. I'm also supposed to use dice in your reading, so let's work with the cards here for a moment first. Let our intuition move in and through them. I'm supposed to turn them again. Alright. I'm going to do the 5-card layout as I had done in previous videos. That doesn't surprise me. Okay. This first card is the Magician. This is the status card. This is where we start. intuitively what I'm getting from this card right from the beginning is that there's, as I have said before, there's a lot of activity in this card, but feeling it here now, it's about a lot of openings, a lot of possibilities, a lot of options. So in beginning here, there's this feeling of a lot of creative freedom, of possibility of movement, and the cards are standing out to me as well in this picture. So I think this has something to do with cards, with a reading, either for you or for someone else, but cards play a role in this beginning. Hmm. Okay, it's going to take a moment to work through this card, but I'm going to go ahead and show it to you to start with. This card was reversed, and it is the Blessing. Now I should include here, earlier today, as I said, I got some messages about this reading. Another specific message about this reading is that, or was that, this challenge card is not a challenge. I mean, it's, I know that kind of sounds crazy, but I mean, it's like, this challenge card may be perceived as bad, or it may even appear in that light, but it's not at all. It's actually something very different. So now it's up to me to discern exactly what's going on there. Let me try to feel it. As I said, this is certainly about something that appears to be a difficulty or a challenge, but in fact it's not. It's the impression that I'm getting is that there's a desire to move forward or to do something instantaneously, but this card is speaking to the need to take a breath, to take a moment, to take a pause. And this pause is going to be restorative. It's going to be helpful. It's going to be enriching, like the sun giving life to plants or a field. But the importance here that I'm getting intuitively is to be open to that, to not view it as a challenge, whatever it is. Don't view it as a block or a challenge. View it as an opportunity to slow down, to heal, to recover, to draw in something that you're going to need or be able to use. And these cards, they're virtually like vibrating in my hand. Like I did not expect this at all, so you'll have to forgive me. I am very sensitive to energies, and I wasn't prepared for that. I'm going to take a moment here. Just I'm going to follow the instruction of that card and just breathe for a moment. Okay, let's see if we can move on to the next card. I like this card. This is the returning. So this is your tool card. It's your approach. What I'm getting intuitively from this card, there again, return. This is a return to an older practice, an older approach, quite possibly interconnected with this other card, an older method of taking that breath. A practice that you used a long time ago. I get old from this for some reason, very ancient, but in a positive way. Yeah, there's a lot of history in this card. This could even be like a tradition in your family, something in your lineage, maybe a past life. I won't speak to that because I don't know a lot about the subject matter. But definitely that's what I'm getting here is an old practice, sort of tried and true. Maybe even arcane, maybe magical, because there's unicorns in this, and it sort of has that feeling to it. I'm thinking so. Yeah, this has something to do with magic, some kind of older magical practice or tradition or approach, but definitely age. A lot of age to that. Wow. This is a positive turn of the card here. Your next card is the Lady of Joy. Right off the bat, intuitively from this, therein, I'm getting joy, but this is a radiance. This is a pure, sort of blissful feeling, moment, and experience. This is the light and the darkness. This is freedom. It's sort of that. What's the term? This is the celebration of a lot of work, a lot of energy invested, and then finally that moment of seeing, the culmination of those efforts, and the enjoyment of that. So definitely, I think these cards thus far have moved to a very positive place. The Lady of Joy. Very beautiful. Now we're going to come to, I was going to say we're going to come to your fifth and final card, but I'm getting this impression that I'm supposed to do these dice before that. I didn't prepare completely for doing the dice, so I don't know how this will work out. We're going to try to use this pad to see, but I did intuitively get the way that this is supposed to be done. I'm going to roll one dice here in a moment to let me know how many digits. This is going to be a number that's going to be important to you. It will appear, you will see it, I mean, like a huge neon sign. This is going to come up for the next 7 days. It's going to be very bold, and there's going to be some relevance. The intuition that I get from it is it's like breadcrumbs. It's like seeing the white rabbit. It's something that you need, or that you'll find it beneficial if you follow it, wherever it leads. So give me a moment to work with these dice. Alright. Didn't exactly land the way I had thought. That's not going to be the number. That's more like it. Okay, we've got 3 digits. So let's see what they are. First, it's going to be a 6. I did not bring my pen to write that down, but that's okay. We'll write it down later in review. So you've got a 6. And a 9. And a 3. 6, 9, 3. Those are your numbers. Now, in the message, I didn't get any further information about what these numbers were about or what they would lead you to, but there again, that's my advice. Keep your eyes open for those numbers and see where they lead. Now, I'm very interested to hear how that turns out. Now we're going to do our last and final card for this reading. Well. Okay. This is, as I've said in other videos, your card. The Sorcerer. I'll give my intuitive impression of the card, but there again, the most important thing here is that you find your own voice in this card. Figure out exactly what this card means to you, because it's significant for the next 7 days. Intuitively, I get an unusual feeling from this card. It does not match the name of the card, in my opinion, because I'm feeling almost like reservation or a retreat away from people. This is like, when I hold this card, particularly when I look at the image, the impression that I get is isolation. Wilderness, being remote. But there again, sorcery, it's a part of that is seeking within. So perhaps that's why that's interconnected. There's a depth to this. There again, it's something remote, something removed. It's looking. This figure, this dwarf, or whatever he is in this card, is looking away, very lost in contemplation almost. So that's my impression of this card, definitely. Contemplation, possibly to some degree isolation, or just taking some time for yourself to reflect. That's the impression that I get from it. But I will show the card again so that you can see it. And there again, definitely take what you will from this card, because this card is speaking directly to you. All in all, I think that was a really good reading. As I said, there's so much energy for some reason in these cards this evening that I personally was not expecting. A lot of energy. I may have to ground myself again before I begin the next reading. It's interesting. As I had said, I didn't anticipate that at all. Okay, I'm going to take a moment to try to ground myself further and recalibrate here. Let's connect Ronnie's energy to the cards. These cards are still humming. That maybe is the best word. I'm really intense. Some of these are supposed to be turned. This reading is going to be for the month We'll see what they reveal. Okay. Your first card is the Green Woman. The impression I'm getting from this card, this being the status card, is being grounded. It's being centered. Balance. Very nurturing. Connected. I almost would say at ease, but more so intuitively what I'm getting is like in tune or in flow with life. So a very good beginning. Okay. Your next card should be your challenge card. Is the Crone. And right off the bat, the moment I saw this card, the intuition that I got is this is something deep, possibly something hidden. This is inner. This challenge is something within the self. It could be a repressed memory or simply a facet of your life that you're not choosing to look at, and I don't necessarily view this either as being bad, but you might could put it in a box of saying darkness, in the sense of some difficulty or some trauma or something that you, for whatever reason, have chosen not to face or to try to work through. There is a challenge here, and although it may be something that has been sort of pushed away or shied away, it's still there, and it's speaking through this card very loudly, like it's there. And this is your challenge for this month. A part of this month is reaching a place where you're willing to go into that work of whatever this is. This is your challenge. Wow. Okay. Your next card, your tool card, is the Lady of the Leprechauns. And this could be interpreted a lot of different ways, but the intuition that I got when I first looked at this card, this is about moving into a place where when you go to confront or do this work, this card is telling me that it's important for you not to rely on others. That's not to say that you can't reach out to a friend if you need assistance and you feel that it's a must, but this card is stressing to me that this is sort of a walk that you may have to do on your own. There again, as I said, interpretation different ways. I also get the impression that quite possibly whatever this is, you reached out to your guides or the elements or some external forces to try to handle this situation, and perhaps those things did aid you, or you thought that that was the case. But this card is telling me that you need to go backwards and sort of walk into the darkness alone to face it, because whatever this is deeply connected to you. And so while friends or the elements or other entities or beings, they may be able to sort of help you, I don't know that they can plant a seed that's going to grow and move you beyond whatever this is. I think this is work that you have to do yourself. That's what I'm getting from this. Okay. All right. Not surprised to find this card here. But it's upside down, which is, sensible and quite pleasant, actually. Alright. Your next card, your resolution card, is the Paradox. There again, as I said, it's upside down, and so immediately when I looked at this intuitively, this speaks to me and says, this is a resolution. This is sort of like, quite possibly if you use these tools in this other card, it's going to seem like there's a whole lot of further questions, or maybe there's going to be some concern there as to whether or not you actually were able to do this on your own. I get this impression that there's either in the past or even possibly still now, there was some doubt as to whether or not you could do this on your own. And that may still linger here, but with this paradox being turned upside down, intuitively I get the impression you're going to get to this place where you're like, yeah, I did do this on my own, and because I did it on my own, now I'm beyond that challenge. Like, I have overcome that obstacle or that hurdle. I get the impression that there's celebration in that. There's a joy in making that step, like making that progress. A resoluteness, certainly. Alright, here comes our last card. Wow. Yeah. Your card is the joy of the future. Intuitively looking at this card, I'm reminded of celebration. Possibly this is a celebration of overcoming this thing. Yeah, that's what I plainly get from this card: celebration, triumph. Also, though, I get from this like a gathering. I get, maybe a part of that celebration is contacting those friends who had helped you before, or those entities, or the elements, whatever the case was there. Like, I get from this a celebration. Like, that's sort of where we're going. You want to have this celebration of triumph and being involved in those energies, those people. Yeah, that's a very positive card, I think, to draw for your personal card for the month. Joy of the future. There's a lot of potential here and a lot of goodness. So yeah, there we have it. I did not get any intuitive messages that I should use the dice for these other readings, and so I'm not going to. These cards are still very energized. I'm going to take another moment here to rest, and then I'll do the final reading. I had mentioned in some previous videos that at times I feel as though perhaps I'm being visited by my guides, that they're making their presence known, and just a moment ago you may or may not have been able to hear it from the microphone on the webcam, but there was that sound I had mentioned before of someone walking above me. Tends to happen a lot, or it has happened a lot recently. So if you were able to hear that via the cam, I would certainly be interested to know about that. Definitely leave me a comment and let me know. I am still undergoing that process of trying to connect to my guides, and the intuitions that I am getting, and you know, the synchronicities, like the message that I keep getting is, you know, as I mentioned before, sort of connected to that other reading, is like it's about following, you know, the breadcrumbs. It's looking for the white rabbit. It's looking for the synchronicity, and the synchronicity has definitely been there in so many different aspects of my life recently. I'll go ahead and put these cards back in the deck. Yeah, there is a lot of energy in the room for some reason. It's strange. I didn't anticipate any of this at all. The day in and of itself has been fairly, you know, low key and ordinary, you might say. So I'm not sure. Not sure what's going on there. It's not a bad thing, but it certainly has taken me by surprise. And the energy, particularly the sensation during the first reading, was so intense. It was difficult for me to seek out the intuition for the cards because, I mean, the sensation was so strong. Yeah, it's definitely different. But I really do enjoy these readings. You know, there's such a level of satisfaction and joy from being able to work with my intuition and at the same time attempt to aid other people, which I think is really important. I'm still holding true to that notion. I don't want to do readings for myself. You know, I'm certainly open to receiving readings, but I think it's important for me to read for others, and that doing is important for me in my life. So, and yeah, I had mentioned in the other videos that I had posted, I'm just talking now to give myself a breather, but a set of kind of not so great circumstances occurred. You know, I did those readings for those people in that group, and then I found out to be a correspondence in the group afterward that they only wanted text-based readings, you know, in that post. And I mean, they were very nice about, like, you know, it's okay, and we're glad that you went to the trouble to do the video, you know, but I personally don't think that I could do justice, you know, to a reading, trying to do it in text, and that just seems very, it seems very distant and like artificial, inorganic to me. I don't think I could do that. So I sort of respectfully bowed out, you know, of that whole post, and I was like, well, I understand that, you know, but that's just not the way for me to do these readings, and so I'm not going to do that. So, but that left me in a place where, you know, I have this desire to want to practice and work with the cards, and I didn't have anyone, you know, to do a reading for. So definitely, if you're watching this, if you're new to my channel, if you're interested in receiving a reading, simply leave me a comment, and I will be glad to do one for you. I will also say, as I mentioned way earlier in this video, this is being done for the people who are involved in Moonlight Ponderings. It's a channel I started following on YouTube, and I will link to the channel in the description of this video, so definitely go and check them out, give them a like and subscribe if you enjoy their videos. Via email correspondence, I've been told that they are going to do further videos in the future about things like tarot and doing astral projection and some really interesting topics, and so I'm definitely really looking forward to seeing those as well as what they've already put out. So yeah, definitely check that channel out if you're inclined. I cannot stress this strongly enough. It is my belief, it's my opinion that it's really important to try to support people on YouTube, particularly people who are putting forth effort, and more so the smaller channels, people that are just starting out. YouTube is sort of this strange landscape these days where if you don't have a lot of popularity, or if you can't gain that somehow magically, it can become very difficult for you to get any kind of, you know, like base of people viewing your stuff, because they simply won't see it, you know. And if no one sees it, then no one's going to be there to like it or, you know, to subscribe. So, you know, unless you have a way of spreading the word of your content out there, there's a lot of struggle involved. I haven't been on YouTube long. I started making videos there last year when I was writing a book, and that was my experience, and it stands true even now, you know. So that's my thing. I think it's really important to try to support people if you like their work. Well, that's my 2 cents on it anyway. Okay. Add a little more energy to the cards here and connect this reading with Firechild. Alright. I'm going to move the cards for her. Work with them here for a moment and see what occurs. I'm supposed to turn these in the middle. And here we are. Alright. Okay, first card. First time I've had a card show up consecutively like that. Okay. Your status card in the beginning is the blessing card reversed. Now, I don't interpret this as, the opposite of the blessing. Intuitively, when I turned this card over, the impression that I got was doubt. Not even confusion, but this is just speaking plainly doubt. There's some doubt in you about a choice that you're going to make, or a choice that you have made, or a place that you're at in your life. There's some doubt. Like there's doubt. Like it's a question of, is this right? Is there a resonance? Should I do this? Like doubt. Hmm. Okay. Alright. Your challenge card is the hidden one, also reversed. And what I'm getting from this right off the bat is this is something very tangible that this is a status or a label that you set on something. This is something on the outside, but it's illusion. Intuitively, what I'm feeling here is that this is illusion, but for whatever reason right now or during the month, you're going to see this thing and not be able to easily identify that it's an illusion, because it's going to seem very based in logic and fact and reason, but still and yet it's illusion. The intuition that I'm getting, let's see if I can put it into words. It's coming really fast. Okay. This logic, this sort of theory, or this thing that seems very real and concrete, it's something that you self-created in your mind. Like there's been a period of time where this doubt is going on, and so you're sort of reasoning yourself down a path, as if to say, I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing this, so I've added these three together, and here it is. Like you're convincing yourself of something because of this doubt. You're convincing yourself of something, and you're starting to see patterns where the patterns are not there. And this illusion is the challenge for the month. For this month, this is the difficulty. But for whatever reason, it came so fast and so strong. But it's about not letting logic always guide you, because there's more truth in your intuition and in your heart than there is in what you see and what you perceive. Whew, okay. Alright. The dreaming. That makes sense. Okay. Your tool card, your approach, is the dreaming, also reversed. And so this ties into what I just mentioned even before I turned the card over. This is, your tool is telling you, don't let these illusions blind you. Now typically we think of the dreaming as imagination and sort of in another space. But yeah, this is speaking directly to these illusions that I was talking about, and saying you want to step out of that, step out of convincing yourself of something because of things that you see. Particularly if any of this doubt is dealing with another person, hearken to the understanding and the awareness that we can't ever truly know the reason why people do the things they do or who they are. All we can ever do is make assumptions, and oftentimes assumptions will lead us over the cliff in a sense. So that's what this tool card is saying to me. Do not trust an illusion. Do not make assumptions. Follow your heart. Open your heart, and allow your heart to speak to you outside of the bias that you may have created. That's what I'm getting here. Our next card. Hmm. Hmm. All right. The outcome card. The Faerie of Youth. Intuitively, right as I turn this card over, what I'm getting is, more than anything, emotion. Quite possibly a lot of sort of up and down emotion. This is very intense emotion. The outcome of all of this is going to be very emotional, but not necessarily bad. And while this is called the Faerie of Youth, I mean, I don't particularly necessarily attach youth to this card. Another impression that I get from this card is freedom. Intuitively, I get the impression that there's a possible outcome here where if you do this work, you're going to reach a place of feeling freedom in that youth, and perhaps that's where this emotion comes from. Perhaps this is a release. I also get the impression that that release is going to take you sort of mentally to this place where you're understanding, you're sort of having this perception that goes beyond presumed limitations. So to me, this is a really big card. This is sort of opening some doors, where you're seeing past possibly some things where your logic blinded you or hindered you. Perhaps this logic chained you in a way, and so now there's a release of those chains and a freedom, a youth of sort of the phoenix rising from the flames, moving forward in a whole new way. So this is a really good card. I feel really good about that. Okay, give me a moment here and we'll do the last card. Another duplicate. All right. Okay. Your personal card for the month is the Returning. And as I mentioned earlier, there is still some of that same impression that I get from this card of an old traditional practice. When I'm looking at it right now, though, I'm drawn to this hand that is coming out of nowhere, virtually, into the card and into the scene, grasping this horn. And so, more so, this card intuitively is speaking to me of a surprise, some kind of surprise in this month. Possibly this resolution is going to be a surprise, or perhaps the feeling that you eventually reach in this, the Faerie of Youth card, is going to be, it's going to be sort of a revelation to you of wow, like an aha moment. Yeah, that's what I get from it. There again, I will show it to you on the cam again, and definitely I would say find your own voice in this card, because this is your card for the month. It will speak directly to you, and if you open yourself up to it, you'll see it. It'll be very visible. Yeah. Wow. This has been a very interesting series of readings. As I always say, I hope that these readings, that you have found them useful and informative. Definitely leave me comments, and let me know, how things unfold. And if you have any further questions or concerns, I'm certainly willing to look deeper into some of these things. And as I mentioned to Severin via messages on Facebook, certainly, if the three of you are willing or interested in doing a reading for me, I would love to hear those. So yeah, I thank all of you for your time. I don't think that I will extend this video out any further, because I'm sure at this stage it's really long, as it is, and there again, there's not been a lot of time in between now and the last video, and there wasn't anything necessarily in particular that I wanted to go into. As I stated before, I really enjoy doing these readings, and if you are watching this and you're interested in having a reading done, leave me a comment and let me know, and I'll be more than happy to do one for you. I think that's about all. So, as I typically say, I hope all of you are well, and I will speak to you soon.